I see painful end of marriages every single day. And if there's one thing I have learned in my years of practice, it is that the seeds of bitter divorce are almost always planted during engagement period. An engagement is not just a countdown for a party. It is the most crucial period you have to observe character, emotional maturity, and long-term compatibility. Red flags are not about demanding perfection because none of us is perfect. They are about identifying consistent toxic patterns that will mutate into serious, unmanageable problems after you say, I do. If you're a man planning to take a wife, you cannot afford to close your eyes to these warning signs. 1. Poor communication patterns. Pay close attention to how she handles difficult discussions. Does she actually avoid serious conversations about the future? Does she completely shut down, give you the silent treatment, or become instantly defensive when you raise a concern? If she refuses to listen or try to understand your perspective, you have a massive problem. Communication is a literal backbone of a successful marriage. When communication fails, unresolved issues accumulate like a mountain of hidden debts, turning minor misunderstandings into catastrophic conflicts later on. The long-term effect here is absolute emotional distance and a lifetime of constant unresolved arguments. 2. Lack of respect for you and others. Respect is non-negotiable. Watch her tone during everyday discussions. Is she talking down to you, mocking your opinions, or belittling your thoughts? More importantly, watch how she treats people who can do nothing for her. Is she rude to waiters, aggressive to customer service retail workers, or dismissive to strangers? Respect is a baseline requirement for emotional safety at home. If she treats people with disrespect now, hear me clearly, that behavior will only increase and intensify after marriage. 3. Inability to handle marriage maturely. Conflict is inevitable in marriages, but how you handle it dictates your survival. A major red flag is a woman who resorts to shouting, insults, or name-calling during an argument. Also note, does she use the silent treatment as a tool to punish you? Does she walk away from a conversation without trying to resolve it or constantly bringing up mistakes from years ago? Emotional immaturity creates total instability in a home. If she cannot handle conflict maturely today, your future home will be a war zone of unstable emotions. 4. Excessive jealousy and possessiveness. A relationship without trust is a prison sentence. Is she constantly checking your phone, tracking your movements, or demanding non-stop updates on your whereabouts? Does she get irrationally angry over completely harmless professional or social interactions? This level of possessiveness is driven by cheap insecurities and a total lack of trust. Left unchecked, it totally escalates into highly controlling, abusive behavior that will isolate you from your friends, your career, and your loved ones. 5. Dishonesty or lack of transparency. As an arbitrator, I can tell you that dishonesty is the fastest way you can destroy a legal or emotional contract. Look out for inconsistent stories, hidden information, and lies about both small and big issues. Now, when caught, does she avoid accountability and make excuses? Trust is a fundamental rock of all marriages. If that rock is cracked by small lies during dating, it will completely shatter under the weight of bigger betrayals after you are legally bound together. 6. Financial irresponsibility. Money problems destroy marriages every single day. You need to watch out for poor spending habits, hidden debts, a total lack of financial planning, or a pattern of constantly borrowing money without accountability. Financial stress is routinely cited as a major leading cause of divorce in our courts. Do not assume that she will suddenly become financially wise once she gets a wedding ring. Money habits rarely change without deliberate hard work. 7. Avoidance of responsibility. How does she handle being wrong? A major red flag is a woman who constantly blames others for her mistakes, completely refuses to admit her fault, and never offers a sincere, heartfelt apology. Personal accountability is absolutely needed for relationship growth. If a person cannot take responsibility, they cannot change. You will find yourself trapped in vicious, repeated cycle of exact same problem for decades. 8. Inconsistent behavior and mood swings. Is her behavior predictable, or are you constantly walking on eggshells? Watch out for sudden, extreme emotional changes, unpredictable reactions to minor inconveniences, and hot and cold behavior when she loves you one day and detaches the next day. This level of volatility creates an environment of emotional instability. It makes open self-communication completely impossible because you never know which version of her you're going to wake up to the next morning. 9. Disrespect towards family relationships. When you marry someone, you're interacting with an entire family ecosystem. Take note, if she has a history of constant unresolved conflict with her own family, or if she shows blatant disrespect towards your own family without any justifiable reason, a total refusal to integrate into a family structure is a serious warning sign. Ongoing family friction creates continuous, exhausting undercurrents of tension inside your immediate marriage. 10. Lack of emotional maturity. Life will throw heavy stress at your marriage. You need a partner who can stand strong. A red flag is consistent pattern of overreacting to minor issues, poor emotional self-control, and the inability to express feeling calmly and rationally. Emotional maturity is critical for navigating life's inevitable crisis. Immature emotional reaction will consistently escalate small everyday problems into major relationship-threatening crises. 11. Over-independence or emotional clinginess. While connection is beautiful, extreme codependence is dangerous. Does she demand your constant, undivided attention? Is she completely unable to handle any time apart? Or does she depend on you exclusively to fulfill every single one of her emotional needs? This puts an immense, suffocating amount of pressure on one partner. It stifles healthy independence and prevents both of you from bringing a whole, fulfilled self to the table. 12. Secretive or hidden life. Transparency is prerequisite to intimacy. If she actively refuses to share certain information about her life with you, exhibit private behaviors that seem highly suspicious, or avoid transparency regarding our friendships and daily activities, pay attention. Marriages require total openness. A secretive lifestyle actively weakens trust and leaves relationship vulnerable to suspicion and paranoia. 13. Lack of shared values. Love is a beautiful feeling, but love alone cannot sustain marriage. Look out for fundamentally different views on marriage roles, conflicting beliefs about how to raise children, misaligned financial philosophy, or inability to align with major life goals. If your core values are pulling you on different directions, you will experience severe long-term friction that no amounts of romance can fix. 14. Manipulative behavior. Manipulation is direct assault on emotional safety. Watch out for psychological tactics like guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, or using silence or withdrawal as weapon to control your actions. Be careful of someone who masterfully twists situations so that no matter what happens, they always appear to be the victim or the one who is right. This creates highly toxic power dynamics that will leave you feeling drained and defeated in that marriage. 15. Lack of support for your goals. A marriage must be a supportive partnership, not a competition. If she consistently dismisses your dreams, discourages your career ambitions, or acts competitively towards your success instead of celebrating them. Take note, if a partner does not actively support your growth, it will inevitably lead to deep-seated resentment and bitterness down the road. 16. Poor relationship history pattern. We must look at the past, not to judge someone blindly, but to understand their trajectory. A history of repeated, highly unstable relationship, frequent unresolved breakup, or a clear pattern of severe conflict in every past relationship is a warning sign. Unless a person has done deep internal work, relationship patterns will repeat themselves. Real emotional growth requires an immense amount of self-awareness. 17. Refusal to compromise. Marriage is the ultimate exercise in teamwork, and teamwork requires flexibility. If she consistently insists of having it her way, shows completely inability to meet you halfway, or views compromising as a sign of personal weakness, proceed with extreme caution. One-sided relationship where only one person yields will inevitably build a toxic level of resentment at the end of the day. 18. Emotional or verbal aggression. Your home should be a sanctuary, not a battleground. Never tolerate regular insults during arguments or disagreements, threat of abandonment, intimidation, or a pattern of constant hypercritical degradation. Emotional and psychological safety are absolute baseline for a healthy union. Verbal abuse almost always escalates in frequency and severity once the commitment deepens after marriage. 19. Inconsistent commitment. A stable marriage requires stable foundation. Watch out for hot and cold interests in the relationship, highly unclear future intentions, or an active avoidance of any concrete discussions regarding marriage plans. Absolute clarity of commitment is essential before you walk down the aisle with anybody. Chronic uncertainty creates emotional instability that will leave you anxious and insecure at the end of the day. 20. Ignoring your consents or boundaries. Boundaries are the fences that protect your emotional well-being. If she dismisses your feelings when you share them, repeatedly engages in behaviors you have explicitly asked her to stop, or completely disrespect your personal limits, take that seriously. A blatant disregard to boundaries during dating will only amplify and worsen after marriage. 21. Lack of conflict resolution skills. Finally, look at the life cycle of your problems. Are your relationship issues ever properly resolved, or are they continuously swept under the rugs only to create repeated cycles after a while of the same exact problem over and over again? A successful marriage requires an active skill of resolving issues within yourselves rather than ignoring them. Unresolved issues builds a heavy layer of long-term resentment that can eventually suffocate the love completely. Recognizing these red flags are not about fear, neither is it about looking for a flawless human being. A truly great relationship is based on shared foundation of trust, deep respect, open communication, accountability, and aligned values. While every individual has flaws, consistent pattern of dishonesty, manipulation, disrespect, or a complete lack of responsibility should never be ignored. Your goal is not to find someone perfect. Your goal is to choose a partner who is emotionally mature, willing to look at our own shortcomings, ready to grow with you, and fully capable of building a stable, healthy partnership over a lifetime. This is Alpha Dialogue. Thanks for staying with us. We'll see you again on our next post. If this video resonates with you, hit that subscribe button. Follow us, leave a like behind, comment, and share this video to your loved ones. We always are at the comment section to interact with you. Thank you.